take number 2. Okay, so I'm in my 30s, 31 to be exact, and single, and there were some changes and shifts that I just did not anticipate going from my late 20s to my now 30s, and I wanted to share those changes and those shifts in case anyone else out there is going through something similar, and I just wanted others to not feel alone and to normalize these feelings and just this journey. So number 1, I did not realize how much your community changes or shifts, in the sense that it just looks a lot different. As you get into your late 20s and your early 30s, maybe even like your mid 20s for some of you, you're gonna notice that a lot of your friends are gonna be engaged, married, or married with kids, or married and trying to have kids, and that is such a beautiful new phase of life. But because of that, you're gonna notice that those friends tend to default to their partner for a lot of things, which completely makes sense, or their priorities might just shift to thinking more future forward for their core family unit. And because of that, a lot of their time is gonna be spent doing other things, and instead of seeing them regularly every single week, your community is gonna get a little bit smaller. And so for me, it was a bit difficult because I went from having this amazing group of friends who we would hang out every single week, do fun things on the weekends. It was never a question of who I was gonna hang out with because we were always just on the same page. But now I would say my community is a lot smaller, and that was hard for me because my weekends now look more like, okay, one dinner here, one coffee date here, one 2-hour window on Saturday. And it's just different, and I don't want to say it's good or bad. It's different, and it's something that is an adjustment if you're someone who likes to be social and to go out with a lot of people. So I wanted to share that and normalize it because I went through that, and it was definitely hard to accept in the beginning, but it's something that you get accustomed to and move through as you get more used to it. Okay, so number 2, which perfectly follows what I just said about your community getting smaller, number 2 is all about the reality of you might feel more lonely or experience more loneliness. And this is just because your lifestyle looks different, your community looks different. And first off, I want to say it's totally normal and it's totally okay to feel lonely. I want to share what I did, which was a massive mistake, and I really hope that in you watching this video you don't do the same thing that I did. But in the beginning, when this was all happening to me and I started to feel really lonely, I was so judgmental of myself and critical. Like, I felt so ashamed, so embarrassed, and I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to admit to anyone that I was lonely, and I would actually often just make myself go out and do things or see people that I didn't really want to do, but I was like, oh, this is better than being alone in my apartment. And that's really not the case. And I think part of that is just going through your own journey of figuring out who you are on your own and what you want to do and what you value. But it's another video. But I just want to say, don't judge yourself or feel bad for being lonely. We're social beings. It makes a ton of sense that you want to have connection, whether it's with a best friend, a partner, a family member. So please do not beat yourself up for being lonely. It's totally normal, and it's something that the more I share, the more I find out that people in their late 20s and 30s totally feel this, so it's okay. And the last one is that you're just way more aware of being single than you were. And maybe this is just me, but I feel like a lot of my friends and I have talked about this. Like, you're just way more aware of being single. I went to a wedding a couple of months ago, and I legitimately looked around and I was like, I'm not only the only single person at my table, I think I'm the only single person at this wedding. So yeah, it's just, and especially as a woman in your 30s, it's a lot more at the forefront, I feel like, of conversations and just circumstances where you physically feel your singleness. And I just want to say the same point as the loneliness, which is, it is what it is. It's neither good nor bad, and I hope that you're not judging yourself or feeling like you're less than, or, you know, feeling behind because you are single. Just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it won't, and there's so much benefit to being single that I don't think we celebrate enough. And so that is it for today. I am so grateful for you for watching if you made it this far, and I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you later. I don't know why I did that. Okay, bye.